Super Bowl winning QB. Patrick Mahomes' heart was on display all playoffs when he became the first starting QB in NFL history to have 3 double-digit comebacks in a single postseason. He's also the youngest player in NFL history to win an MVP and a Super Bowl. And he's the youngest QB to win Super Bowl MVP. He joins Tom Brady as the only 2 quarterbacks to win Super Bowl MVP before 25. Not so bad. I'm trying to think of what I was doing when I was 25. It wasn't that. So, Shannon.
You didn't win the Super Bowl before 25?
Was this the greatest run for a quarterback ever?
Skip, I believe it is, Skip. When you look at the totality of what he was able to do, down 24 to the Texans, down 10 to the Titans, down 10 to the 49ers, scored the most points in fourth quarter history. You look at his cumulative, now Skip, we're looking at his QBR over a 3-game span. It's 89. You take Tom Brady's 2 best, it's not even close. And I know you love QBR. You love QBR, right? You still like that stat?
Is it my turn?
No. Because 24, they average, this is the third, and we did a 3-game minimum, Skip. It's the third highest over 3 games. Only the 49ers had 2 games higher. They averaged 39 points a game. He had the most total touchdowns, 12. Averaged 300 yards passing, led the team twice in rushing. QBR of 89 in the postseason. We go back to Brady because I know you're going to bring this up.
Yeah.
In 14, guess what Brady QBR was, Skip? 80. In 16, it was a 74. Now, 3 games. Oh, we did a 3-game stretch. Yeah. You can look it up. Now, if you look at the names that he beat, I believe Flacco and Breeze, because I did a story with John Saraceno back when Breeze did his. Breeze beat Warner, Favre, and Manning. At the time, they had a total, if I'm not mistaken, 9 MVPs. Flacco beat Luck, Brady, and Manning. We know what those guys represent.
Pretty good.
Flacco's biggest deficit he overcame was 7 points at Denver. The biggest deficit that Breeze overcame was the first quarter 10-point deficit to Peyton Manning. But this young man overcame 24, overcame 10, and in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter, and in under 7 minutes went and got you 21 straight points, Skip. It's hard to believe that somebody had a better 3-game total than what this young man just did over the last month. I'm sorry, Skip. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Actually, I don't. I love bringing you bad news. Patrick Mahomes is here to stay, and he just put together, on record, it's etched in stone now, Skip, the greatest postseason run in NFL history.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's my turn now. So we just watched a Super Bowl in which Patrick Mahomes won MVP with the lowest QBR any MVP of a Super Bowl has ever had. Only 62 QBR in the Super Bowl.
It'd been interesting what Tom Brady would have been in 2001, but they didn't have QBR back then. It'd have been very interesting, Jenny, but that ain't none of my business. I don't even know why I've cut you off.
It's
It's your
none
turn.
of this topic's business because it has nothing to do with this topic.
Okay.
So what did we just see? We saw a quarterback named Patrick Mahomes threw 2 ugly interceptions, one third quarter, one early fourth.
Run, Skip.
And it was 20-10. He had scored a grand total of 10 points until what happened? The number 1 blame that you laid yesterday to start the show was on the doorstep of a young man you watched grow up, your coach Mike Shanahan's son, Kyle, and you blamed him the most. You didn't credit Mahomes as much as you blamed Kyle Shanahan for having the game in the palms of his hands. Right?
I said, what happened? You asked me what happened. I said, Mahomes what happened.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Mahomes what happened.
But you blamed Kyle Shanahan, and you said they should have won the football game.
They should have.
Right? They should have won the football game.
Atlanta should have won too, but they didn't.
All right, but they did not. So just for perspective, Patrick Mahomes got every break possible, and thanks to the Tennessee Titans, Baltimore got eliminated and New England got eliminated and gave Kansas City 2 home games that they did not deserve.
If you don't mind me asking, did the Chiefs beat either of those teams in the regular season? I just want the people at home to understand. Did they beat the Baltimore Ravens or did they beat the New England Patriots at any point in time during the 2019 season? A simple no or a simple yes will suffice.
What does it matter to this topic?
You just said they got knocked out, so Kansas City didn't have to play those teams after they had already beaten those teams, Jenny.
What did you think was going to happen on the very last regular season week of this past season? Did you think Kansas City was going to get 2 home games? You did not.
I don't believe it would have mattered.
Okay, well, we'll never know, because I believe it really, really would have mattered, because they were going to have to deal with either going to New England and or going to Baltimore.
They skipped, they went in week 20.
This is different.
How?
The money is on the table now. And Baltimore got way, way better after they lost to Kansas City, like way better. Baltimore was the best team in football. Even you acknowledge that.
Let me ask you a question. After Kansas City beat New England, did they get better or did they get worse?
Well, I don't know. You could say they got better, but New England looked like they were poised to get better. Okay, so the point is, he got to play a 10-6 Texans team, right, at home.
Yeah.
And he did fall behind 24-0. You always tell me about Dak Prescott. Did he get the ball?
He got it.
The 24-0. What happened?
He got it.
Well, that wasn't very good, right?
Well, guess what? The difference is between your guy and my guy is that my guy doesn't turn the ball over in the process of getting down by 24. Your guy gave up 3 picks to Green Bay.
Yep, and then Bill O'Brien says, I think I'll take the field goal, right? And he could have ended the game right there. That's what I believe.
Ain't no game ending.
Okay,
when you got that
here
guy.
Came the Titans to Kansas City, and I don't know what got into Mike Vrabel. He says, I think I'll rush 3 the whole game. Really?
Oh, my goodness.
And then the Titans, on a 27-yard touchdown run, just said, we give up. We quit. We go home. Unless you guys want to play flag football, we quit.
But this is what you do. You always talk about the 9-7 Tennessee Titans. But if I'm not mistaken, the 9-7 Titans went on the road and beat a 14-2 Baltimore team that had the second unanimous MVP in NFL history.
And that was forced to take 3 weeks off before it got to play that playoff game.
And then that same team went on the road, where they went on the road first, and beat Tom Brady. Now, you say the money on the line. Jenny, he just said when the money's on the line, Tom Brady is a big money player.
Well, speaking about the money on the line, so it gets to be 3rd and 15, game on the line the other night, and Patrick Mahomes basically slung a duck. He threw a high-risk, up-for-grabs punt on 3rd and 15, and I don't know, it came down in the hands of Tyreek Hill, who had to turn completely around and come back for the football. That's just luck, man.
Skip.
I don't know. Is that a great throw?
If I'm not mistaken, my numbers might be a little off, but did you know on 3rd and 15 this year, Patrick Mahomes is like 7 of 10? With 3 touchdowns on 3rd and 15, Jenny. So that's not an accident. See, an accident is 1 of 8. An accident is 2 of 10. But when you 7 of 10, you 70% on 3rd and 15 with 3 touchdowns. That's not an accident.
Just 1 year ago, I watched Tom Brady go into Mahomes' home and complete 3 straight 3rd and 10s in overtime. It's historical. It's never happened before, and they were all just rockets.
Okay, Skip. We talk about.
I didn't see him throw any punts to anybody.
We're saying the greatest postseason run. So if doing that, if he had followed it up with another 2 or 3 touchdown performance against the Rams, okay, you might be onto something. I might have to fight you.
Okay, well, I'm not doing that one. You brought it up early, and thank you for
bringing
doing
it up.
that. Open the door. Let's do 2014 Tom Brady, because the truth is, I could have picked 2017. I could have picked 2018. I'll take 2014. Shall we?
Yes, you shall.
Because Baltimore, mid-3rd quarter, goes up. Thanks to Joe Flacco, who's been extraordinary in the postseason. Joe Flacco goes up 28-14 at New England.
Yes.
And guess what? Tom Brady said, no, not in my house.
If you don't mind me
not
asking,
in my house.
If you don't mind me asking, why was Joe Flacco allowed to go up 28-14 if Tom Brady's the quarterback? Because you just criticized Patrick Mahomes, boy, for being down 24-0. I just need to know, Skip.
Joe Flacco has put up better postseason numbers than you could argue any quarterback ever has. Right? Okay, so that's Joe Flacco he's up against, and he said no. And in the second half, he goes 18-26 for 165, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they pull it back out 35-31 thanks to Tom Brady. Well, Mahomes, I think that might even be beyond Mahomes, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
You picking out one game. I said totality.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Doing totality.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
But did you tell the people?
So guess what happens at halftime of the AFC Championship game? The league, thanks to the whistle-blowing Indianapolis Colts, they go in at halftime and they say, you're cheating.
Right.
Your footballs are illegally deflated.
Okay.
And it gets back to Tom Brady. They're accusing us of cheating. And so they're inflating our footballs until you can barely get your hand around.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's what they went way back up. And in the second half.
He's throwing basketballs.
Yeah, so he's throwing basketballs. And he comes back out in the second half and he says, watch this.
Okay.
And he goes 12 of 14 for 131 with legally inflated footballs for 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Kaboom. And then, of course, after the year's over, he goes and wins in federal court against the league. I thought that was another kaboom.
But Skip,
right?
Even in all those, guess what he did? He had more turnovers than Patrick Mahomes.
Time out. Now we get to the Super Bowl game.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
And guess what? Let's do degree of difficulty because this is the Legion of Boom. This is one of the greatest defenses in the history of this league. This is the defense that led the league in overall defense and led the league in pass defense. Hurt. Stop
Cam Chancellor.
Were they out there?
Whoa!
Were they out there?
Okay.
Yes, they were.
Okay. I want you to remember that. Now, we're going to have a discussion next year about Dak Prescott and his shoulder. Okay. I want you to remember you said he was out there.
Yeah,
okay,
it's one thing for a quarterback shoulder.
Oh, that is.
Well, it is. It's very
So how
different.
the DB supposed to run with a torn knee ligament?
Stop it.
Richard Sherman had a torn elbow ligament.
Oh, stop it. So, guess what the score was going into the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
It was 24-14 Seattle.
10-point lead.
Against that defense? Are you kidding me?
Let me ask you a question. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So the 49ers is some bump on defense.
They're pretty good, but they're not this group. Nobody would rank them above this group.
Hold on.
This is the Legion of Boom.
Okay, but
Kansas City had the Legion of Zoom.
But guess what? Guess what you said. Now the guy, the defense that was just okay for you. You picked one of those guys on the defense to be the Super Bowl MVP. You picked Nick Bosa.
Did.
Why would you pick a guy on a so-so defense to be the MVP?
Yeah, and did you see what Pro Football Focus said? They ranked the top players throughout the playoffs.
Yes.
And what's the tackle's name?
Swartz.
Mitchell Swartz for Kansas City was ranked number 1. So he played the best at his position. Mahomes was second. Nick Bosa was third on that list for the whole playoffs.
He did have a good
He
playoff.
became a force. So I think that was a pretty good pick if Kyle Shanahan hadn't spit the bid again and said, I think I'll give the game to Jimmy Garoppolo, your MVP pick.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Granted, all those things may be true. But still, you have to have someone to answer the bell on the other side.
Okay, so answering the bell in the Super Bowl was Tom Brady once again. Against the Legion of Boom in the fourth quarter, he goes 13 of 15 for 124, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, and they roar back to win the game 28-24.
So,
that is off the charts great.
So
I'm sorry, I just gave you 3 in a row, and I'll take this run with this degree of difficulty over what you just said.
He had fewer touchdowns, more interceptions, and a lower QBR.
I'm going to close the case. Guess who Tom Brady's top 2 receivers were